Some dude that his name looks like it's an Arabic, Deacon Dale, I think. I've been brushing up on my Arabic lately. Just Joe and Gantheron. I guess that's what his name is. It was a pretty good week. Let's go over these games for the week. It didn't seem like the damn no crowd had any effect on the players like they kept telling us it would. And I'm glad of, the Houston versus Kansas City Chiefs. It was pretty much over before it started. Talk to me about that game.
Hey, Rams went back at it. They got back to work. No days off. They went right back to it. Very efficient game. The running back, I got him on my fantasy, so I love it this week. He ran the ball great. Caught a couple passes, made the ball move down the field. Pat Mahomes had an easy day at the office.
They just got to have firepower. And on top of that, they got a bend but don't break defense. And those that turnover, the interception, Watson had where he hit his arm. Those turnovers, you can't turn the ball over with a team like that. Especially giving them a short field. Because they couldn't stay healthy. And in the red zone, they receivers is almost impossible to cover now. So
well, to me, I like the Kansas City Chiefs the way they look. They seem to be firing all cylinders, but I'm gonna need Andy Reid to slow that game down a little bit, because when you have a bend but don't break defense and you keep putting them out there, eventually they will break. They're gonna run up against teams that are coached way better than Houston, and that's gonna be a problem. The Seattle Seahawks and what were you about to say?
No, but yeah, that is true. They're gonna run up against a team that's gonna be able to score points on their defense. So, yeah. You remember a couple of years ago when they played the Rams on Monday Night Football?
Right.
It was like 50-40 something.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the greatest Monday night games scoring ever. Yeah, they go back and forth.
So that's just a situation where he's gonna have to get that under control, because eventually it will bite him in his ass. And that's just not I'm a Raider guy versus Andy Reid. But Andy Reid knows this. He did run the ball a lot, but I mean,
they ran the ball more than what they normally do. And I think it'll be the last, especially last year, I think he kind of changed up his coaching style. There was a few games, especially when Mahomes then played those few games, they slowed the game down and they ran the ball and still was successful. So
exactly.
The
Super Bowl is a perfect example. Because truth be told, Williams was the MVP of that Super Bowl, but really get to the quarterback. Seattle Seahawks.
We said that while we watched it.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can't really argue with winning, Seattle Seahawks versus the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons wet the bed again, as usual. Talk to me about the Atlanta Falcons and the Seahawks.
I'm sorry, did you want to go first, Joe? I'm sorry.
I'll go. I like it. In Russell Trust, I think Russell Wilson always gonna make something work. Atlanta Falcons, they have been this way since the Super Bowl. They just fizzle out when they're not supposed to. Can't keep things going. Matt Ryan played a great game, but something is just wrong. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something is definitely wrong. And I can't figure out what it is.
Yeah, I think that people underestimate Chris Carson and Russell's grasp in their offense, man. Because you would think that Cap just think he out there like Baker Mayfield or somebody. Man. That dude is a professional quarterback, man. And it seems like they just, I don't know, understand, man. But I mean, the thing with Atlanta, man, other than Julio Jones and Ridley is good, other than that, Matt Ryan is an average quarterback at this time, at this point in his career. Who else do you have?
Well, I think you being polite with this time in his career shit. Matt Ryan ain't never been shit.
No, Matt Ryan is a very serviceable quarterback.
That's a real nice way of saying ain't shit to me. I mean, you're not saying that. But I mean, Matt Ryan has never showed up when it counted. He's consistently come up small in big games. The coaching staff is shaky at best. They need to fire the whole thing. They need to blow up the whole coaching staff and restart. Like you said, they got the talent, but they can't make it happen. Stop relying on Matt Ryan. Every time you rely on Matt Ryan, you lose. Every single solitary time you rely on Matt Ryan, you lose. And I echo the sentiments with the Seahawks. If Carson don't get hurt, it's gonna be they may have won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but he got hurt. But the coach is a buffoon down there in Atlanta. They need to get a real football coach. They get a real football coach, they're gonna have success. Because a real football coach identified that, as you said, ain't nobody talking about one of the highest paid players in the league being very serviceable. When you one of the highest paid players in the league, I understand that highest paid thing is really just a matter of it was your turn in some cases. But in the case of Matt Ryan, he's supposed to be a franchise quarterback. He needs to be stepping up. You can't give me a big game right off the top of your head, or even if I allowed you to think about it, in my opinion, that Matt Ryan stood up when he was supposed to and just dominated.
On the NFC Championship, when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Wings.
Didn't they smash that team?
Yeah, he was one of the reasons why they did it.
I'm talking about when the game is on the line, all the chips get pushed to the middle of the table. Russell Wilson steps up when he was in his prime time. Brady stepped up. We can go chapter, book, and verse of quarterbacks that step up, and you don't see Matt Ryan do that. And the fact that you call him a very serviceable quarterback is an indictment, if you ask me. Because I've never heard of a quarterback that's good or worth anything be called very serviceable. I've never heard Tony Romo be referred to as very serviceable.
Let's go back to the music. As always, a lot of new music this evening.
Yo, that was the Evidence joint you just played, right?
Yeah, that was,
That's just me.
Very dope. Yeah, Ev is definitely becoming...
Just in the season versus the Buffalo Bills. Do we really need to talk about this game? I say y'all can, but I'm not.
Yes, I want to talk about it.
Knock yourself out.
Adam Gase got bitches on 3 or 4 owners in the league. You got pictures of them in this uncompromising position. I don't know why that dude still got a job.
And they lost Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah,
Bell.
I have him on my fantasy team.
Well, that sounded like he made the bad decision, trying to walk away and take that season off. Because has he played a full season yet? Has he had the success that he would have had staying with Pittsburgh?
Hell, he got hurt every year with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he never played a full 16 games. So hopefully he come back 3 to 4 weeks and chill so I can put him back in my lineup.
This is why we shouldn't have talked about this game, because we talking about fantasy football, we ain't talking about the damn game.
Hey, man. But you didn't want to talk about the game, though, man.
That's why I said this is why we shouldn't have talked about it, because it's not worth talking about it. Y'all talking about fantasy football. Chicago Bears versus Detroit Lions.
Hey man, y'all can't mess with fourth quarter Mitch. Fourth quarter Mitch? That's his little nickname, man. Mitch actually did his thing in that fourth quarter, man. Brought them back. That was, lightning might have struck in the bottle. We always got next week, but we shall see.
Yeah, I think that the first 2.5 quarters, it kind of seemed like he was just not on the same page with the receivers. I do like the game plan because they was running the ball. But you got to give it to him in that fourth quarter. He turned it up once that defense got tired.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Mr. Trubisky is a fucking bum. They should cut his ass tonight. And had they not run the damn ball all day and wear that fucking defense out, the Bears would have lost. Mr. Trubisky is a bum.
Next week when he throw these 3 touchdowns.
Next week when he throw these 3 picks and the motherfucking Giants putting their heat on his ass, you will see what I'm talking about.
4 touchdowns.
Okay.
3 passing, 1 run. Wow.
Right. He gonna throw 3 pass for 3 Giants touchdowns, and one of them gonna be a pick 6.
All right, man.
Mr. Trubisky is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. He is the dictionary definition of why I say, man, fuck them stats.
And then the Bears gonna trade Allen Robinson for O.J. Beckham.
You mean Odell?
Yeah, Odell.
Him too, huh?
Yeah.
That dude is horrible, and he, just like most Chicago quarterbacks, he gonna break Chicago's heart because he's gonna wait till it count the most, like Sunday, and he gonna be hitting wide open linebackers. Had they not been running the hell out that ball, they'd have got their ass whooped. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers.
Welcome to the Aaron Rodgers show. I'm trying to set the man man, he did his thing. Found a couple new receivers, Devontae Adams. Did his thing as usual, 9-time receiver. Yeah, he was just throwing on him. Every time he threw the ball, man, it seemed like he went for 20 yards. And every other pass was like a touchdown. So, they got to play again. We'll see what happens again. But Aaron Rodgers was the man who was doing that game.
Yeah, Minnesota was missing the Pro Bowl defensive last name. I apologize. So he didn't play. Plus, they got 2 new quarterbacks because they cut the vet. They used to always used to almost neutralize the Packers receivers. Then that thing where everybody was talking about how Aaron Rodgers was not a top 10 quarterback, I guess you could kind of throw that to the wayside. Because there was a couple of throws he made in that game. You're like, what the fuck?
Again, this is proof positive. Miss me with them stats and all that analytic stuff. I'm taking my eyes over any computer. Aaron Rodgers exploited that team because one, like you said, they were all discombobulated on defense, and they actually went out there and just pumped those dudes out. And it was kind of disappointed with a Zimmerman coach team to see a Zimmerman coach team get punked out. I thought I would never see that. And Mr. Trubisky and Kirk Cousins need to drive it off the leg